In this episode, I want to share with you what I think is important for a lead boat to do. A lead boat, whether you're supping, pack rafting, creature crafting, kayaking, rafting, the lead boat has extra responsibilities in any whitewater group. And again, I'm going to share with you what I think those responsibilities are. The first thing is they just set the pace that the trip goes. If the lead boat's going really fast, everybody's rushing to catch up. And if the lead boat's going slow, everybody kind of bunches up behind and has a hard time and they struggle running into each other. And so setting that pace that everybody can follow and stay as a group is really key. Next is they're really reading water and choosing lines. Now, if they already know the run and they have memorized, they're taking those lines. If they don't, they're reading the water, they're making good decision based on what they see, and they're setting lines. They're going places that are usually conservative. If they go somewhere conservative, they're showing everybody else the conservative line that they can follow. If somebody else wants to take a different line, that's a choice they can make, but the lead boat really has a responsibility to be setting really conservative lines based on their knowledge of the river or just reading the water. Next, they provide safety. If the lead boat is downstream like this, and the next boat comes and they have a swimmer, this is the safety net. This is the furthest down boat. This is the ultimate safety net. No swimmer should ideally pass this lead boat. If this boat has a swimmer and passes this boat, well, this first boat is the ultimate safety net. So they're providing on-water safety the whole time, and they're the safety net for everybody else going downstream. Nobody's really setting safety for this person, which we'll get to down here. Next, they'll make decisions about whether to scout or portage. Let's say this is a river-wide nasty hole. Maybe we scout, maybe we portage. There's an alligator below it. This boat sees it and needs to make a decision. Hey, let's pull over and scout that rapid. Or they may just know the run and they may pull everybody over because they know a portage is headed up or an important scout. So the lead boat makes decisions about when to scout and portage. And a key thing is they pay attention to line of sight. And so right now, if this is the lead boat and the lead boat sees this nasty thing downstream, they need to catch an eddy and make sure there's room for everybody else to catch eddies. They need to make sure that when they're looking at their line of sight, if they see a hazard, that they don't get too far downstream, that everybody doesn't have a place to go. So this lead boat, if they're smart, will catch this eddy here, which signals the eddy out. Well, there's not room in that eddy, so this person goes here, this person goes here, and this last person goes down here. If there's more than 4 boats, that lead boat needed to pay attention to that line of sight way earlier. There's way more responsibility. So you're looking downstream for potential hazards or portages or things to scout and paying attention. Is there eddy space for everybody? And it's a lot of work to pay attention to that all the time. They're also scanning for hazards. They're looking downstream. They're saying, do I see a new tree in the river? Do I see a new hazard? Or if it's a river you haven't done, is there a hazard that's just there? And again, if they see the hazard, river wide hole with the alligator, they need to catch an eddy as fast as they can and make sure they do it early enough so everybody else can catch an eddy as well, so nobody accidentally goes into here. And finally, this person is the most exposed. The person that's in the lead is the most exposed to some sort of danger, because if that lead boat swims or flips or something, there's no downstream safety. There's no downstream safety person. So if this person falls out, this boat has to catch up with that person, which is hard to do. And so the person in front is taking additional risk. You usually want this person to be a very good boater, so it minimizes it, but also they have to understand they're taking risk because there's not really good safety for them. And that's why I wouldn't go in this order, right? I don't like a lead boat ideally to have multiple people, because if this boat swims, now there's 2 people to rescue, and there's not a lot of downstream safety. There's no downstream safety for the 2 people. So if you have a choice, ideally your downstream boater is just 1 person, again, because they're most exposed. So I've kind of gotten into who we choose to be the lead boat. Well, here's some things I look at. Just solid ability. Who's really good? Who is a great boater? Who's going to have the least chance of falling out or having some sort of problem? And who can read water? That's usually the better boaters. Next, is this somebody that can self-rescue? If this person does fall out, are they a good swimmer? Can they swim to shore? Can they swim back to their boat? Can they get back in a boat? Can they self-rescue? The best rescue is self-rescue. Well, if you have somebody in the lead boat that can't self-rescue, then they need assistance, and that's really hard to do from behind. You also want somebody with good judgment to make good decisions. Again, this person's reading water, setting lines, deciding when to scout in portage, paying attention for hazards. Like, you want this person to make good decisions. If this person's a wild card, they may not be your best person for the front. Having knowledge of the river really helps. So it may not be your best boater always if it's somebody who's done the river a lot, right? Knowledge of the river does trump a lot of things. And so a very knowledgeable person will know right where to go, when to go there, and that's a huge advantage. A lot of times people make the lead boat the trip leader, or make the trip leader the lead boat. It doesn't have to be the trip leader. It could be the trip leader, and sometimes that's your best boater with the best ability to self-rescue and all these things, great. But sometimes somebody organizes a trip, and they're the trip leader, but it's better if somebody else is the lead boat. And it's going to take turns. It doesn't have to be anybody in particular. If you usually want to be the lead boat running water a grade below what you normally do. So if you're a class 4 boater, it would make sense to lead on class 3 water, right? If you're a class 5 boater, it would make sense to lead on class 4 water. But take turns. If the second half of the river is easy, let somebody new and up and coming take the lead, and so they can get that experience. It's really good experience to be out in front because you're learning to read water, you're learning to make decisions, and it's a little different world with nobody in front of you. It's a blank canvas for you to kind of make your own lines, but also be aware of who's behind you. You know, if you get a chance to do it, to take turns, you get to practice all these things and see how hard they are. So those are my thoughts on important things for a lead boater to do, important qualities of a lead boatman, whoever's in the front. If you have things to add to this, if I forgot something, if you have discussion, as always, put it in the comment section below, and I'll see you in the next episode. Thanks.